We are live. Happy Thursday night again. Hi,
What's
Veronica.
up, Silver Nation? Hi, Tori.
How's it going?
It's going. It's another Thursday. That means we are close to Friday, and there's a weekend around the corner. So that's always exciting. Time to wind down and chill with family and friends. But what I want to know is how everybody else out there is doing.
Yeah.
How's the week been? What's been going on? Really looking forward to seeing our weekly friends who show up every week. But we do have a fella in particular. Was his name Victor? I don't know. We'll see when he comes back. But he had been
I
checking in.
really hope he's here.
Yeah, I hope he's here too. He's been checking in every week, and he just, he's coming back into the rooms, and we love checking up on our people and seeing how they're doing and supporting them. So for those of you tuning in, thank you for joining us this evening. Tonight,
here. Sorry, I'm just
go for it.
Hey, Chuck, how are you?
Chuck is here. Hi, Chuck. Tonight we are talking about support and the kind of support that we didn't know at the time we needed, but now looking back on it, what kind of support did you think you need back then when you got clean and sober at first? Like, it was so new to me when I got started that I had no idea what I needed. How about you, Tori?
Oh, absolutely. And now that I know what I know, and like how even since I got sober, so many resources have expanded. I mean, there's so much out there that, I didn't know that other people may not have known or don't know currently, that I wish I knew. So
I didn't even know there was a detox facility. Like, I didn't even know detox as a place existed. Like, that's how, I just didn't know. Like, what I was going through was something to seek treatment for, and that there were services available for the things that were happening to me. Like, that's how removed I was. And it's not, and I guarantee you that so many more people still don't know about that,
Absolutely.
So it's crazy. But what is happening in the comments? Is everybody saying hi?
Augustine's a reg,
Hi, Augustine.
He says my week is amazing here. He's in Woodward, Oklahoma, and he's leaving on Saturday for Nashville.
Awesome.
Augustine, the topic tonight is support that we kind of wish we had when we were getting sober, and kind of those resources that we do want to talk about, because there are so many of those.
Yeah.
Let's see. Megan is new here, day 82. Great week. Staying busy, upped her trips to the gym.
Welcome, Megan.
Welcome. We're so glad you're here.
Yep. And the gym is such a great tool for people new to recovery.
Tim is here, and he says day one.
Yay, Tim. Thank you for spending day one with us. That's awesome. Day one for me. So, I'm so happy that you're with us.
Ken has 11,322 days today.
You're going to have to do the math for me on that, Ken.
I don't even. I mean, that's a lot of years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so we did take a poll last night, and asked everyone kind of what they wish they had when they got sober, so that we could kind of prepare for this.
Yeah. So let me pull up the poll and see some of the answers that were brought up. One person said that they got so much strength and support from their church. They had to give it to God, and without God picking them up at their lowest, they would never have changed their life. So there's people that, had the church and that were going to church and had the church to lean on during that time. And I think that's amazing that if you do already belong to a church, to take advantage of some of the resources and some of the support that they do offer. I think that's amazing. There's also the flip side of that you don't want people in your church knowing that you're struggling, but it doesn't have to be an announcement to the entire congregation. You could probably go speak to a pastor, and then there's smaller groups, and there's even like Celebrate Recovery within certain churches, which is a kind of 12-step based, but faith-based fellowship for people who are in recovery. So there's a lot of resources in churches. So that's amazing.
Yeah, when I got sober, I didn't know that there was just like so many communities, deep-seated communities, and so many kind of like subcultures for recovery.
Yeah. No, it's awesome.
And let's see, Corey says, I was very fortunate to have had a program through the VA called the Domiciliary. Domiciliary, am I saying that right? Saved my life. Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. Phil has 16 years. He's from Long Beach, California. What? Let's see. Sherry says, hi again from Lancaster, California. Thank you, ladies, for dedicating your Thursdays. This is her second Thursday night.
Yay, welcome back on your second Thursday night. Are you freezing, Tori? Uh-oh.
Are you there?
I'm here. I can see you. Can you not hear me?
We froze for a minute, I think.
Okay.
All right, we're good now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard the second Thursday, so I was welcoming the young lady who said this was her second Thursday with us.
That's Sherry, yes.
Sherry, welcome. We're happy to have you. I hope you keep joining us.
Someone says that his pit bull dog was his biggest support, as funny as that sounds.
That's not funny. Pets are like really in tune with our emotions. And if it's a pet that has been with us for a long time, they know that we go through stuff and they support us. And that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Ken says support is all around. And Ken has an anniversary today. I read in the comments earlier.
Happy anniversary.
He says meetings and online. I don't know if that was meetings online or just meetings and online. What else is in the poll, Veronica?
So someone said my own support. I fought myself constantly, then I gave in, got on my knees and gave it all up. So I think what he meant is that he didn't really have anyone around him. He just basically had to gain the strength, within himself to just get over whatever was going through his head that was keeping him from getting help, and got through it. And that sort of happened with me too, even though I had some external consequences that forced me to have to comply with legal things. So it kind of got me out of my zone. But I mean, yeah, I totally relate to that you probably don't have immediate support. And even if you do have family, for example, I had family around me, but I couldn't go to my family because they didn't understand. And so none of their fault. They love me, they support me, but they just didn't understand what was going on. And so I think that when you're in that situation, you don't have family or friends who understand, it is up to you to go out there and find support and different levels of support that work for you. The most traditional ones are, local 12-step meetings because they're free. And, there's a lot of people there that are ready to welcome you and walk you through what you need to do. And another comment here from the poll was Deborah said she was going to meetings. She's been going to meetings for 28 years. Turns out she's the happiest when she participates, helping with things, always saying hi and being a chairperson whenever she can, having a service position. You don't have to, but attend at least a few meetings a week somewhere to be happy. And that's what worked for her. And so sometimes, you think to yourself, well, I'm going to show up to this place. I don't know anyone. And there's people there that will introduce themselves to you. There are people there who will give you a commitment if you so choose. I have admitted before the real reason why I started going to meetings, and I'll repeat it again tonight just because it's kind of on topic. But I started going to meetings. Well, the first meeting I went to, I had to go. And I was so fascinated by the fact that everyone was just telling their business and putting their business out there, right? Like normally I came up in this culture of like, don't tell your business, don't tell anyone your business, right? And then I come into this room and one by one, everybody's just pouring all their business out there. And so I'm like, And like, girl, are you serious? Did that happen? And I was fascinated. And that's why I kept going back. And like, I wanted to go back the following week or the following day because I wanted to know what happened with so-and-so and like the drama that she shared. Right. But, and then at one point after a few meetings, someone pulled me to the side and there was an old timer and he, we were talking about my recovery and I was like, there's just no way I could put 30 days together. Like, that's just not, just impossible. Like, that's just not going to happen. And then he was like, well, you just stick around, kid. You just stick around. And sure enough, I did. And, I don't know how, but like, So even if you go and you don't think or you don't believe in what's being said or you don't think that's going to work for you, if you keep going, something happens. Like I can't explain what happened to me. Again, I was just going to be a bochinchera and to be all up in the bochinche.
I don't even know what that means.
It's like gossip. It's like gossip. But like I was just kind of, like be in everybody's business, but like pretend I wasn't. I would just sit there and like listen and but that's why I kept going, and then it worked. So just
let me tell you how I started going. I was at a treatment center, and they took us to meetings. I went to meetings every morning, and if we didn't go to a meeting, we had to like do this exercise type of deal, like exercise class in the morning. So like I would go to the meeting so I could like sleep and sit in the back and sleep, and like over time, so I didn't have to like work out. So over time, like obviously something clicked,
Yeah.
But I want to go to the comments real quick because there's a lot of new people.
Let's do it. I want to meet them.
Lance says he's been struggling with alcoholism for 10 years now. He doesn't know how to control it. He feels lost. It has such a control over him. So Lance, we're really glad you're here, first of all.
Yeah.
And just keep coming here. I mean, it's amazing that you're here, first of all. What do you say to him?
Yeah, no, I want to know what he's tried, what's worked for him, what hasn't worked for him. And with alcoholism, it's tricky because depending on how long he's been drinking and how often, stopping cold turkey could be dangerous to his health. So he may need, if he is dead set on quitting and is planning to do it cold turkey, I advise against it. I think he should seek medical help in order to come off alcohol appropriately.
You can always send me an email or send us a message, and we can point you in the right direction. You can email me if you want to. It's Tori, Tori @sobernation.com. But Mary Ellen is here. It's her first time hearing this, she says.
Welcome.
Let me see here. There's a lot of people. Lance says he's not religious, so he has a hard time going to AA meetings. I want help that doesn't involve that. Is there such a thing?
Yeah, so there is, oh my gosh, why is this name skipping my head? Well, you can still go and replace God. Anytime that the word God comes up, you can replace it for something else like nature or whoever you deem your higher power. But there's also which is the one, not Celebrate Recovery.
Smart Recovery is what you're thinking.
Smart Recovery. So Smart Recovery is not religious, and Refuge Recovery is Buddhist. So if you want to go a little Zen Eastern route, that's, Refuge Recovery. If you want to go straight up just a recovery framework without God and 12 steps, that's Smart Recovery. And if you want to stick with traditional AA, just because it's like what's nearby and available to you, you could just replace words and kind of do some little workarounds. But there's even pamphlets for agnostics, I believe.
There is. There's one for, I think it's called For Agnostics, actually.
Yeah.
We have a couple blogs about like resources that are not 12-step based on our website.
Yep.
You can put those in here after the live. But Bob is here too, and he has 3 days. He's tried on his own before, and this is his first time looking for help.
Hi, Bob. Welcome. And so glad you did not give up. And what kind of help are you looking for? And again, feel free to email Tori if you rather discuss that. And by the way, and just public service announcement, the internet is not a safe place. And this isn't a private page. This is a public place. So just be mindful of how much personal information you disclose in the comments and in the conversation that we're having here. So we do advise you to, if you want to get a little bit more detailed or share a little bit more personal information, that you do send Tori a message privately so that you do protect your privacy. We can't guarantee if somebody's going to screenshot something or take it real life. And, we just figured we'd say that because we get so caught up in just being casual and talking and enjoying the conversation and the fellowship, but it is important to stay safe. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. And that's really important. And, if I can't help you, I can direct you to somewhere that can. So, oh my gosh, there's so many comments in here. let's see. Your higher power can be sticks and rocks, doesn't have to be called God. Yeah, I mean, and then Ken also said like your higher power can be your dog. I mean, anything that is bigger than you, I think. Let's see. New York City's in the house. Hey, Freddie, how are ya? Let's see. Someone is having surgery and they are afraid to take opiates. Let's see. By the grace of God, no opiates. Major surgery in 10 days. Good luck. You can do it. Someone said Advil is great.
You have to talk to your doctor about it. Obviously, talk to your treatment team before the surgery. Let them know that you prefer not to have narcotics. During surgery, they are going to use them. Post-surgery, depending on the level of the operation, you may need a small quantity, but you can either have a person that you trust administer them to you. There are also other medications that are just as strong. I think Torolac is one of them that is not narcotic and is also prescribed post-procedure, post-operation for patients who are in severe pain. So again, I'm not a doctor, but I've been in this field long enough to know what are some of the options available. And I would just say be very honest with your doctor and with the people who are going to support you and care for you while you're recovering. But I think honesty with yourself and the people around you are going to get you through it.
So let's go back to the poll real quick. One I want to read, and this kind of goes a little bit deeper than just like services. Lindsay says, I wish I knew how to talk about what led to my drinking habits, my anxieties, and my reasons behind drinking. I wish I knew that too. Like, I wish I knew at the time. I wish I put together like a relapse plan for myself, like knew kind of what my process was.
Yeah. So like, let's be real. Like a lot of us did not or could not afford treatment, and maybe very quick treatment, right? To just sort of resolve the issue and get acute treatment, maybe some post-treatment services to get us to reintegrate to society, maybe some aftercare to just kind of get us back. And that's as far as we got. But the majority of us have not gotten down to explore like the underlying causes of our addiction, because that does require a lot of work. It requires a lot of therapy, and it requires a lot of time and healing, right? And so one of the things that we have seen is, and we encourage, is for people to work with an individual therapist. That just because we're clean and sober and we work with sponsors, which God bless them for doing all their work, there may not be experts in the areas that we need help with, right? Like I've had amazing sponsors who may not be experts on eating disorders or trauma or things of that nature. And that's a tall order, and it's a lot of responsibility to place on someone who's there to help you go through the steps, right? Like that's just a lot. So I do think there's a lot of value in seeing a therapist. But once again, not a lot of us can afford a therapist on a weekly basis, bi-weekly basis. So one of the things that I've seen as kind of like a way around this is to create smaller communities of people who are interested in having those conversations about, overeating. Like I quit drugs, I quit drinking, but now my problem is that I'm eating a lot. I have past trauma, and, I need to get with other people who are going through these things. And so I think that these online communities are really, really valuable. And they are basically, the framework is a membership framework where you are a member of this program, and the program may offer, let's say, 2 sessions, via Zoom or like via teleconference to talk about a specific topic. Maybe it has like a monthly theme. Maybe it has like daily affirmations. Maybe it has like different exercises and programs, and they're led by different experts or different guests. But this is a great way for you to get the support that you currently don't have access to, whether it's because you don't have family members who support you, whether it's because you don't have meetings nearby, whether it's because you can't afford, to go on this retreat to look into, what triggered your addiction, So I think that these online programs are a great resource to us in recovery, and they don't get talked about enough, because I think right now, like, we're in the middle of this opioid crisis, and what we're trying to do is put a Band-Aid on the problem and stop the bleeding, right? But then there's a lot of us, a whole lot of us, who have stopped drinking and using, who are now stuck with issues that we don't really know what to do with. And it's sort of like we're ticking time bombs, that we're like managing like certain problems, and if we managed and accomplished amazing things in lives due to all the tools, due to all the mentorship that we received, but we haven't had a chance to go back and look at the things that made us the way that we are, and how much better could we even be if we were to address those things.
And I think, though, like, there is a difference between us being on here every Thursday night and something like that type of group or community or membership or whatever, you want to call it. Because those groups are a little more tight knit, they're more individualized.
Yeah, no, this is more of like a conversation that we have every week, and we pick our topics and we're pretty much picking it. But what we're talking about is a formal program, and I know here at Sober Nation, Tim has put together Sobriety Engine, which has, which includes like the courses and includes other features. And it's something that we're rolling out slowly, to the people that makes the most sense. And you'll start hearing, you probably have seen a couple of posts here and there about it, but you'll start hearing more about it, this next couple of months. Tim is going to get back into Sober Nation and talk about it a little bit more, so that you guys understand what that is. But it's still under development, and we value your feedback. We want to know, what support are you lacking? Like, what could you use help with? How can we help you? How can we support you beyond, these weekly conversations, beyond the funny meme, beyond having this community that exists, that knows and understands you. So we want to hear from you too.
Yeah. And let's see. Ken says he stuffed himself with drugs and alcohol, but it didn't work. It numbed until it didn't anymore. Right.
They stop working. Yeah, they stop working. And then what? Then, and that's the sad part about it, that when we're alone and the things that, numb us no longer numb us, like, the choices after that are not many, and we know where that can lead. And that's not what we want to do. We don't want to lose any more people.
But then when we do get sober, right? And yeah, that's great. We put down the alcohol or the drug or whatever we were using. Sometimes we still feel like shit.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of work that we still have to do. Exactly. And like you said, some of us can't afford that. So that's why these resources that we're talking about are so crucial. And I think just one of the huge benefits that I didn't see when I got sober.
Yeah. And then also, I think even through like my journey in recovery, it's like, a certain group and a certain level of support worked for a while. But then as I hit like year 4, 6, 7, I'm like, this isn't doing anything. Like, I learned this already. Like, this isn't what I need right now. So what you find is that the longer that you stay clean and sober, your needs start to change, and the level of the support that you need start to change. So it's also being aware of that, because as human beings, we continue to grow in this experience, and recovery is you're discovering yourself all over again. Your little parts of yourself are being revealed, and the new things are happening in your life, and it's beautiful, and it's a lot. And that's why you need the support.
Right. Yeah, no, I completely agree. But if you do want to check it out, it's sobrietyengine.com, like the engine of a car.
Yeah, just check it out and see what's in there so far. There's still stuff that we're fine-tuning and working on behind the scenes as we speak. But, we sort of want to get the conversation going, because if the community is for you, then it's only right that you have input on what you'd like to see in the community, and what's valuable to you, and what you would use, and what would make the most sense to you. But yeah, that's what that is. And what else is everybody else saying in the comments?
Let's see. Sandy got sober from alcohol and prescription drugs at AA meetings. She went to at least 2 meetings a day in the beginning. She asked for help and works the 12 steps.
Awesome.
Ken says, one addict / alcoholic talking to another in recovery is the start of something that generates the energy to help one another. Absolutely.
So true.
Yeah, and that's why we got to kind of want to like take it to another level.
So true.
Brian is coming up on October 5th. He will be 365 days sober, cold turkey.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let me see here. Sherry says peer recovery coaches. Absolutely.
Yes. Recovery coaches are great too.
Yeah. And if you don't know what those are, we have an article about that. Sherry says this is good to see. The legacy of recovery is alive, passing it forward. She has been in recovery for 31 years now and still to service and meetings all over the states. Be transparent with self.
Amazing. And these are the kind of people that we also want to be members in the community. The community isn't going to be just for newcomers, right? Like we want people who are OGs, who have been around this, who know some of the situations that are going to come up. Not everybody knows everything. And it's all about passing it on to the next generation. It's like, what are we going to pass on? And there's a lot of stuff that the old timers taught that we may be losing because it's not what we're currently doing. So I think I would love for the community to be this nice mix of people who are not just new, but from all walks of life. And they're there just, again, for the community piece. Because I think we all know to some degree how to stay sober, clean and sober, but how do we live a happy life? How do we make sure that we're like fulfilled and happy? Because as you guys know, we can stay clean and sober, but then we'll have our funks and get stale, and the things that we're doing to maintain our recovery may not be working some days. So, let's just make it a better experience.
And I know for me, like my sobriety is dependent on me remaining teachable. The second I think that I do have this, right, I don't, and I'm in trouble.
Yeah. So, yeah. And right now I'm going through this thing where it's like I'm yearning to like go back to the basics. And I talked about this the other day about doing my daily readings from the little 24-hour books. And I recently moved, so I have them all in boxes. And I'm like dying to, I don't know what box that is, but I'm dying to go through these boxes. And like I want to go back to the basics and do little things like that. So it's always like switching it up that kind of makes it fun, after a while. Absolutely. But I think we need to do an episode soon about books that people are reading about recovery. That would be good, right?
Someone did mention on here, I saw a comment, Russell Brand's book helps them a lot.
Oh, really? I've never read their books, but
there's a lot of different and cool. Kristen Johnson has one. I read that one. Yeah. There's a lot of different, like we said, so many resources.
I wonder if we can get like an author to come on here and talk about their book. And
well, I know one, but we'll see.
Let's do one on books in general, and then let's see if we have a few favorites, and then we send out some emails and see if they'll be willing to join us.
Let's do it.
But I think this was a great combo. If you guys have any ideas for other topics you want us to discuss, if you are struggling and need access to resources, please email Tori. Tori, do you want to email?
Sobernation.com, TORI.
And feel free to leave a comment. If you're watching the replay, we are talking about recovery support and the different ways of support. And just leave us a comment. We'll respond.
And then, if you do want to check out the membership program that we were talking about, it's one of many. It's sobrietyengine.com.
Yep. And that's about it. So with that said, we will be back next Thursday. We so love you guys and appreciate you guys for showing up every week. Yep. And we will see you guys around. Have a great, great weekend.
All right. Bye, guys.